Hello and welcome to CIO News. I am Khushbu Soni, your host for the broadcast and chief editor at CIO News. This is our exclusive interview series with our Wonder Woman in Tech. This is a recorded session and will be uploaded on my website, which is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. It gives me an immense pleasure in introducing another Wonder Woman in Tech. She is Gopal Sariraj, the Vice President IT and Chief Information Officer at Waptec Corporation. Gopal is a performance and a result-oriented professional focused in the IT industry with experience in business transformation through IT interventions. She's led technology-enabled transformation through systems, processes, and people. Gopal specializes in developing IT strategy and roadmap for organizations, implementing solutions that deliver business benefits across business process and horizontals. Gopal, it's an absolute pleasure to have you today.
Thank you, Pushpa. Thank you for the introduction. It's an honor to be considered as one of the Wonder Women in technology. It's a long journey and there's still lots ahead.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, I wanted to start with this interview with assuring from you on what your typical day looks like. If you can share a little bit about how your day goes and what your typical day looks like.
Sure. So I'll just start with a little bit about Waptec, which is into this rail. It's a rail transportation industry, and it's grown inorganically very fast in the last 5 to 6 years. So it's a big one of the top 500 Fortune companies today, Waptec globally, and we have about 30,000 people across the world. We manufacture locomotives and transit coaches, metro coaches, things like that. And there's a lot of digitization in the field of transportation in terms of running these locomotives, as well as managing and monitoring them and servicing the components before they kind of wear out as well. So IT and digitization is very, very strong at Waptec. And we have almost, you can say, 20,000 plus locomotives in globally that get monitored every day, and in India also almost 2,000 plus that we have. So there's a lot of work that is going on in terms of IT and digitization, and we are a cloud first company as well, moving things on to cloud. So a day is very exciting for me. I have meetings with project teams in terms of just understanding where they are and where I could help them with any other connects in the organization. Meetings with vendors, understanding the technology and solutions that they have that we could utilize. Meetings with the senior regional leadership, senior global leaders that we have, then the business and functional leaders that I am responsible for managing, and in terms of a relationship from IT. So all the India business and functional leaders as well. We have monthly, quarterly sync ups, reviews, and some of their projects that are going on. I also ensure to take out time for about 10 to 15 minutes to read up something new every day, or some quick TED talk on technology. That's a must for me, and that's something that I tell my team members as well consistently to be able to do that. So in short, yeah, it's a pretty exciting day with diverse activities going on.
Lovely, wonderful. So did you always wanted to work in the technology space? If not technology, what is that you wanted to do?
I think I want, like any child, when you're in the 6th and 7th grade, you want to join NASA and go to the moon, sit in a rocket and go to the moon. So I think I had one of those typical dreams otherwise to be an astronaut and go to the moon. But I've always been fascinated by technology. So whatever it would be oriented with technology. Just the power of being able to solve problems and achieve broader, complex dreams and visions has been very exciting for me. So even when computer science came in as a subject in school, just the way quickly we could solve problems and all the interesting algorithms, I was pretty clear this is what I want to do.
Right.
Technology comes in, like I said, in terms of problem solving of any aspect. Today, if you look at the social sector in solving things like ensuring water reaches everywhere, what is electricity, the kind of electricity distribution everywhere, monitoring a tsunami coming in, from those kind of things to the larger things that we move, right? Even in terms of, like, we had the COVID scenario right now. Our locomotives were chugging oxygen tanks back and forth, and quickly being ready, making all of that ready. So the impact that you're able to create with technology gives me a very big high and a sense of purpose.
Right.
So that's something I've always been excited and clear about.
Great, awesome. I think so was I. I mean, I still inside do think one day I think I would want to be on the moon. So yeah, I'm always there. Awesome. Great. So the next thing is I wanted to discuss about, we all know that it's not a secret anymore that we see very few women in the tech industry. Now that, yes, it is growing, but this has always been a challenge. There has been, gender challenges. Is there any issues that you have faced, you know, in the way how gender has been perceived or treated? Have you been in situation like that, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have almost close to 24 years plus experience right now, and it's been an interesting journey of, where sometimes due to personal reasons I had to move back, like, to my hometown and work in a different kind of an environment. So I have worked started my journey as a software developer, typical coding activity, right? And churning out software for the telecom industry that was at the boom in the 90s, right? From then onwards, I moved to the enterprise IT space. So from a producer side of technology to a consumer side of technology, I've kind of gone back in and forth. And even before coming into Waptec, I've been in the world of Tata's and DuPont, and again went to telecom for R&D space. So, where there is product development. So you see uh, similar situations and scenarios, with the women. And I've been fortunate to work when I've had global teams with me as well. So some folks sitting out of Germany, US, China as well. And it's interesting to see the challenges are pretty much similar, with related to the biases that people hold in their mind when it comes to women and women being able to achieve something. There is,
Right.
and then as and when I started sitting in more senior level meetings, you can see that bias getting discussed around. Hey, no, that she won't be able to do it, or she's probably just going to run home once it's 5 p.m. or something like that, right?
Right.
Just the fact that women bring so much more attention oriented work whilst they are in office is something that you need to make the rest of the folks around understand and realize that piece. And that's always been a challenge even for me. So but I've been clear about my work life balance, that I need to get home when my kids were much younger, of course, and not go for any office dinner parties and all. That was my choice, and that was my call in terms of being able to do this work life balance. But then it had its own repercussions of, she's not visible enough, right? So sometimes I've made my noise about it when it came to discussions with the manager. So I would say, I've been always aware of the biases that are there in the environment, and
Right.
being aware of that, you try to be a step ahead in terms of ensuring that, hey, if it's an appraisal conversation, or if it's a project manager selection kind of a conversation, or who's going to lead something over there, you go in and put in your stake over there and say,
Yeah.
hey, I'm interested, I want to do this, I think I can do this. So the confidence, the portrayal of that confidence is very, very important.
Right.
And I've seen that, I've suffered as well, like anybody else, in terms of, hey, oh, I should have done that, I should have opened up and spoken about these things earlier as well.
Right.
So one is, yes, just the fact that women will not be tough enough, right, is something that I think just goes against us, and against the fact that if you're tough enough, then you're too aggressive, and you're too emotional, and you're going to have an emotional outburst in front of the team or in front of the customer. Hey, we know how to handle those things. I think you have to give
Right.
us that chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I think very candidly said. I think these are few of the challenges, in fact, a lot of women go through. And yeah, I think very candidly shared these insights. Uh, what be the best part about being a woman in the tech industry, Kapal?
I think, like any other aspect that the world now has realized, corporations now have realized, the more women that you have, you're able to do better balanced decision making, right? So we all know, we hear about the fact of bringing in and ensuring we have women at senior manager levels, at the board levels as well, right? Because it's like a lopsided decision making, and you can see that there is a different mentality, mindset, context with which men come on the table when they're making decisions. I think they've come in with a lot of more personal stake in
Yeah,
there in terms of the decision making. What is in it for me? How will I grow? And things like that. Whereas I think the orientation of a woman to, when they, especially when you have a family that you're running with, you are always trying to bring things together,
right.
right? You're always trying to bring peace at home, or you're trying to run your home. It comes very naturally, inherently. And that's that empathy, sensitivity, I'll say strong customer orientation comes from those things. And that is what women bring to the table. And
Right.
even in the field of technology, when you're designing products, I see a big difference in it, because this is always the engineer is sitting at the back end with his laptop, just coding away. Makes a product, develops a product which goes to the customer and says, hey, this is not what I wanted at all. So they didn't
Yeah.
really understand that thing well. So I think this fact that women are a little more sensitive and pick up these nuances, I think I realized that as a strength in me quite some time back. I mean, that also, somebody else, and probably, and I've been fortunate to have a good mentor there, where he was like, how come you made a system which nobody wants to leave? And they were trying to do some migration work. And I was like, I don't know, I just did basic stuff in there. They said, no, you made some changes in there. Which they said, otherwise, how it is with functions and IT departments, that you keep telling them, hey, can you make this change? Can you make it? It's
Yeah.
over 6 to 8 months that they are waiting around. I would not do that, because I felt, hey, the system cannot be of use to them, right? So
Yeah.
I would make those changes.
Yeah.
And I noticed that as a skill with many women, being able to do that. So I think there is definitely, and of course, not only in technology, I would say this was the empathy, sensitivity, customer orientation, detailing, and being able to see the bigger picture in terms of the connects and the handshaking points. I think women bring those strengths even in the, all in different areas there.
Very true. Very true. Yes, I think these are actually our strengths. Awesome. My last question is, what advice would you want to give to women considering a career in the tech industry, and what do you wish they had known?
Yeah. So first of all, if if this is a great industry, you can move around, you can move from becoming an. So the best part about technology is it's like a fabric that intervenes all the various functions of an organization, right? So unlike a finance expert, HR expert, you got to know finance, HR, operations, manufacturing, how to manage a visitor gate pass system, down to a big complex supply chain management system or strategy system. So I think it allows, so especially in the enterprise space, one to keep growing and understanding the challenges of the different domains. If you're on the product side, of course, there is so much excitement in terms of the new ways of coming up with product designs and solutions as well. I think the flexibility that you get in terms of working in the technology industry is still higher than the older economy industry there. Uh, but you need to be keeping yourself abreast. Like you invest in your home, you have to invest in yourself and your career. Nobody else is responsible for your career. It's the same thing for men. It's the same thing for women. You have to take it a little seriously. There will be times where you have to prioritize your family or home on that day, or a couple of months, or maybe even a year or two, that you need to do that. Stay afloat, survive. That's not the year you should be hankering about your promotion or feel bad about it or something like that. Because the technology industry, there is this whole hierarchy which is there as well. Quickly you want to be a vice president and associate vice president and all of that. Don't hanker about that. As long as you're learning, you've got exciting projects coming to your space, the growth will come. Sometimes it doesn't come when you expect it, but sometimes it comes when, hey, I haven't done really anything big and I got promoted. It's not that. It's, the work that you've been putting in over many years, which comes in as handy, and you're learning and moving to your maybe next career growth as well. Everything that you learn, all the dots always join finally, and so keep investing in yourself, keep abreast of your technology. It needs work. After 10:30 p.m. also spend 15-20 minutes to do that, please. And something like, what would I have known earlier to be, putting my stake on the ground, again, confidently, and being able to, I missed some of the buses as well, as like happens to everybody. But being able to have that confidence and say in taking up challenges, don't stay in your comfort zone. Take up different challenges. That's what keeps you motivated, excited, and feel the need of going to office when you get up every day. It comes from that. If you keep doing just being in your comfort zone, then sometimes you feel like you're sitting in probably like a local passenger train or something, and you just swipe in and swipe out. So don't let that kind of feeling ever come into you. Keep learning and remain excited about it.
Awesome, wonderful insights, Gopal. I think good key takeaways for all our upcoming Wonder Women in the tech. So thank you so much for joining us as a guest, and I'm sure key takeaways for all. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on this segment. Thank you.